We've got a brand new sneak peek scene to take a look at for episode 1 of season 3 Star Trek Strange New Worlds, along with some promotional photos and some exciting casting news for season 3. Well, hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to Sci-Finatics. Well, we just had New York Comic Con this weekend and a whole bunch of new Star Trek news has dropped as part of that event. And the first thing we're going to be taking a look at today is the brand new sneak peek scene for episode 1 of season 3 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Now, the last season, end of season 2, ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, which is kind of rare in recent years. We've obviously back in the days of Next Generation and DS9 and everything. Cliffhangers at the end of the season was a common thing. Every season pretty much ended on a big kind of cliffhanger type thing, and then we had to wait until the next episode of the next season before that story got resolved. And Strange New Worlds took a page out of that book for the last episode of the previous season, where we had that massive attack by the Gorn, and a bunch of crewmen and stuff from the Enterprise got abducted or captured by the Gorn. And we're waiting to see how that situation plays out. Now, our sneak peek scene here pretty much picks up where the last season left off. So I'm guessing this is pretty much the very first scene we're going to get in the first episode of season 3 for Strange New Worlds. And we've got Pike and crew trying to manage the situation, work out how they're going to rescue their crewmates and not get the ship destroyed in the process. So let's take a look and see what it's all about. Geez, they love to spin the camera around in circles in new Star Trek.
Orders, Cap. Shields at 50%.
Well, I'm kind of not surprised Pike's holding his head and looking a little bit dizzy. They did it a lot on Discovery, and they kind of do it a little bit, maybe not quite as much on Strange New Worlds as they did on Discovery, but it kind of almost seems like, oh, if we want to make an action-packed sequence, you got to spin the camera around in circles all the time. It works and to great effect on some occasions, but also if it's overused, it can be a little bit nausea-inducing. I know Olatunde and Shinsami, or whatever, who directed a lot of episodes of Discovery, he just loves to spin the camera around in circles constantly. It makes everybody queasy. So I'm wondering whether he directed this episode of Strange New Worlds. It wouldn't surprise me based on the first shot of this new episode. But nonetheless, it's an exciting way into the new season. Starting with a bang, bit of action, get us all hyped up.
Orders, Captain.
Laura, repeat April's last order.
Retreat and rendezvous with the fleet, sir. He gave coordinates.
But he didn't say immediately.
It's definitely an exciting action-packed intro to the new season. We've got all the bridge crew here throwing out suggestions as to how to manage the situation.
All right, who's got ideas? Diversionary tactics. 2-box stand.
Vent the nacelles. Create a cloud.
I always like these sort of moments in Star Trek where we got everybody kind of chiming in with possible advice and everything.
We need to be able to see.
Jam their comms so they can't coordinate attacks.
That's it. That's the one.
It certainly makes everybody, I think, feel like they're part of the crew. Everyone's offering suggestions, and it's a pretty high, tense pressure cooker situation, which makes for an exciting opener to the season.
You go and use light for ship-to-ship messaging.
I'm modulating the deflector rate to a minute spectrum. Use them for a bit.
They're definitely in a bit of a pickle here at this point in the episode.
All right, now how do we beam our people back to Enterprise?
Scans indicate the Gorn ships are transport resistant.
We get past the shields. We need authorization codes.
No time to hack codes.
Retreat and rescue. The best of a bunch of bad options.
And I'm definitely picking up musically in the background of this scene some definite nods to James Horner, who scored a lot of the Star Trek feature film music in the 80s. There was always like a little motif that James Horner would used to use in his music. There was that da-da-da, which is like everybody is in absolute peril and we're at rock bottom here. Things can't get any worse kind of motif. And they're using it to good effect in this episode here. It's a nice little nod back to James Horner.
So how do we track this specific ship across light years of space?
Well, Captain, a rare element that contains subspace gauge posts if we modified a homing beacon.
Gorn don't see a beacon coming from a mile away.
The plan, although being a solid one, I would have thought would take a while to kind of implement.
Not if it's a torpedo. We tag him with a dud. The Gorn won't know what we're up to.
In order to retrofit a torpedo with what they're talking about here would be, a process you would need a little bit of time to create in engineering. It's not like you can just sort of push a button and suddenly generate a torpedo like this. You would think the engineers would have to kind of, open up the casing and do some stuff in there and put the right bits and pieces in to make it all happen. It's not just a one-size-fits-all kind of push one button and you've got a solution kind of answer. So it kind of seems to me like this is, I think there's a little bit of suspension of disbelief in this scene in terms of just them, how quickly they can actually get this plan up and happening. Because, yeah, you would think there would be a little bit of time involved in trying to enact what they're talking about here.
For this to succeed, we still need to penetrate the Gorn's defensive systems.
We've been hitting them with everything we've got. It doesn't do much. Energy shields work on harmonics. If we find the right frequency, we can ram the ship.
It's a pretty ballsy plan they've got enacted here. And let's face it, crashing one ship into another ship, particularly when the ship you're crashing into is significantly bigger than your ship.
When our shields make contact with theirs, they will create a destructive interference pattern and momentarily interrupt both frequencies.
We only have one shot.
That's all we need. Mitchell, bring us around. Time to play a game of chicken.
And when you've got no shields, a bit of hull damage already occurring, you would think that this being a significantly higher risk plan has an almost equal chance of getting your ship completely destroyed. So it's, it's like, oh, wow.
All decks prepare for impact.
This is really quite a dangerous course of action there. It's a little bit of a worrying one. Crossing their fingers and holding on for dear life with this one.
Full impulse on your orders, Captain.
Inertial dampeners to maximum. Luna. Let's hit it.
I love that Pike uses his go to warp catchphrase to actually, literally this time, enact that very dangerous course of action where they actually are going to hit the Enterprise into the Gorn ship. So I thought that was a nice line there at that particular moment. And you can tell with the trepidation in Pike's voice, he's sort of, I guess, trying to maybe make a little bit of light of the situation, but at the same time, this course of action could, potentially end in their destruction. Crashing into the ship, the Gorn ship is significantly bigger than the Enterprise. So it's like, wow, this is like, and we're not just talking about two ships of similar size here. This is a big beast, this Gorn destroyer.
Fire torpedoes. Helm warp us out of here.
On it.
Hang in there, guys.
It's a pretty exciting opening to the season here. They're lucky they actually managed to get out of there in one piece, considering what they were crashing into. But I guess just a bit of a glancing blow off the side of the ship, not a sort of a direct impact. But you can tell by the torpedo impacts and everything that just the scale of this thing compared with the Enterprise is quite formidable. A little moment here, I wonder the meaning behind this. That thing where you've got, that sort of, it almost cuts to like a dream sequence kind of version of Pike saying,
Hang in there, guys.
It wasn't like Pike saying this in real life on the bridge. It was sort of had a bit of an echo. There was a bit of an ethereal background behind him. So I wonder the actual relevance of this extra little line here with that echoey, dreamlike state. It's almost like a dream state or something. This moment, definitely seems like it's, outside of the time, perhaps even, of the moment that they're in escaping from the Gorn. So, I wonder what that means. I'm really excited about the new season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. There definitely is going to be some very interesting stuff in the new season. One other bit of news we also got is that the actor, New Zealand comedic actor, Rhys Darby, which you guys might know from such shows as Our Flag Means Death, amongst other great comedic movies and TV series. He's a really funny comic actor, and he's going to be guesting in the new season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which I think is really interesting news. And he's going to be playing a very fun character. A character that will be familiar, yet completely new to folks that know Star Trek. I would almost love to see him in almost like a Trelane or a Q type character. I wonder whether they can get around canon somehow and make him a Q with maybe he, maybe he can be part of the Q continuum, but not necessarily, give his name away. Because I think all of the Qs in past episodes, whether it be Susie Plaxton's Q or Garrett Graham's Q or Corbin Burnson's Q, and obviously John Delancey's Q, they were all kind of called Q. Maybe if they had him in as a Q and he didn't reveal his name to them, it would get around, canon, in some capacity, or make him another member of the Trelane family or something to that effect, perhaps. I think that could be a bit of fun in a new episode of this season. I could definitely see him playing that kind of part. But let me know what you guys think of the sneak peek scene for the first episode of Season 3 Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and also your thoughts on Rhys Darby being a guest star in one of the episodes this season. Leave a thought in the comments section and we'll get chatting about that. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Sci-Finatics yet, please be sure to do so. Really appreciate it. It really helps the channel out. Doesn't cost a cent, and you'll all get notified of all my videos when they come out, so that's always great. And also be sure to check out my merch in the merch store. Plenty of cool Star Trek themed hoodies and mugs and caps and TV shirts and you name it, Star Trek and sci-fi stuff in there. Check it out. Always a sale going on, and it really helps support the channel. I'll be back very soon, probably tomorrow even, with some other news that's come out as part of New York Comic Con. I'll see you guys then.